because it sounds cool or it's interesting. You know?
Yeah.
For an information product, it could be an audio. Like, well, one of the things that we talked about was, how do you make sure how do you put a price on audio recording for what you do? And so I had you, give us a little bit of like your rate, cut it in half by 20 minutes, or what would that time be worth if someone actually came in for a physical consultation for you? There's your price, and you include that in the offer. So what you start to do is you start to build value on top of value at the very, very end, to the point where it screams, "Buy me!"
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. And I think that's also kind of cool too, because I do the thing for a weight loss program for a guy in California, and I think some of the cool bonuses that we could probably work in for something like that, because see, that type of a product you're not going to get results with right away, but yet they're going to want to have a bonus they can physically enjoy. So give them like a workout towel, because it's tangible. They can use it, or a workout tape, or something like a CD. That they can use right away to get the better, or a beach ball, some kind of benefit that they can use right away while they're waiting for the great result at the end.
Yeah.
And so you start to really put a lot of focus on bonuses and how they can add weight to your sales offer.
Well, that's our 10 steps. Or not mine, Ted's.
Yeah, the 10-step sales process.
10-step
There it is on the back.
Frankenstein process.
If you want to beef up your sales copy or your website copy, our number is right up here. It's 888-305-2532, and we got some more stuff for you, because they're gonna actually probably roll this into like parts 2 and 3 on the web. So you want to talk a little bit about? Here's I brought some of my favorites along.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about these are inspired by Dan Kennedy and also the great Ben Altadonna for the Dan Kennedy Circle. These are some of the great copywriting people that are out there today selling information products and sales letters. They do a lot of direct mail and talking directly to people. But Joe, what are your thoughts on some of these wild sales letters?
Well, I think some of these, like even just here, if you notice, this isn't your plain Jane white paper. This is goldenrod.
Goldenrod, yeah, you bring up a good point. Goldenrod's powerful.
It's a powerful picture. It gets them already thinking. And when you bring it to something like this, it's almost the wow effect. And I know you've actually bought some of the Popular Mechanics magazines.
Oh, that's
from
right.
Like the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And if you look in those, you see what's kind of been lacking in, I think, marketing for the small business owner of all walks of life. And that's what I think this take is. You see here it's got like the format of a article. It's got the 3 columns here. But then on top of it, you have a huge text box. And it's one of the things that I've been learning a lot, how to master the text box. The text box on the Word software, on the Word program. And you just overlap it. I mean, it could be whatever your business is. You could put it in a corner for a bonus. This one happens to talk about if you order no later than the date stamped on the enclosed pink enrollment form. So he's got this in green and enrollment form in pink. And when they open it, they're going to know, okay, which one do I fill out and sign in? And you see, again, you got the headline here. And here's what his headline says if you can't read it. How does a work-at-home entrepreneur who has phone phobia, fear of rejection, still consistently explode his business with as many customers as he wants without public speaking, lectures, or even opening his mouth? I mean, that's a powerful headline. You don't even have to go to the rest. All you see here is if you order no later than, it's the reader thinking, well, if I... And I'll find myself when I look online or some of these other that I'm looking at purchasing, I'll go, well, am I close to the date? Am I going to miss the date?
Yeah.
That's what you want them to think. Am I going to miss the date? Because now they got in their head. All you got to do is do a little bit of selling and some of these techniques that are in here, and you're good to go. And this one especially.
You like this one.
This is by far is one of the best pieces of information. I've actually worked with private coaches where I've paid them from my industry, and now I'm interweaving some of the concepts I've learned from Ted over the last 6 months or 8 months now. And this by far kind of takes you out of the category of Mr. Business Owner for widgets, or if you're selling, sunglasses or metals or you name it. But this puts it into the packages. I know you've heard it if you've read Dan Kennedy's stuff or any of the other top guys, even Napoleon Hill, I even think talks about. And we're talking things from the 30s, And this is items and things that Walmart does. I mean, some of the Fortune 500 companies do this. So why aren't you doing this? It helps you separate yourself and determine what it is that you're going to offer to the person. And here's one technique that I learned in my own professional selling from a psychology standpoint. When you show the client the big package, and you'd like to sell it. You'd like to get that, whatever your price. If your big package is $800 and your price point is really $300 to $400, well, your second package is $300 to $400. So you got them thinking, God, I don't want to pay $800, but you know you want them to spend $300 to $400. That's your pricing point. It could be $10,000 and you want them to spend $4,000. So that's one of the things that gets you here. It shows what the total savings is. I mean, you total savings here, and just a bunch of these items. This is something Ted did a while ago. It's so much information that you think, well, geez, it's almost like they're stealing from Ted. They're actually, they're thieves. That's what they feel when they. In fact, I'll never forget. I went to one of the shoe stores around here that sell the 3-for-1, and I won't name names, but I walked in. I got a great deal for like shoes. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow. I actually went to the corporate office, happened to be next door, so I walked in. I wanted to talk to I was growing my practice is one of the things. You knock on every door possible. And I told the guy I had 2 bags full. I said, you know what? I really appreciate these deals that you have, and I said, you know what? I'm robbing you, and that's really what this is. You want them to think that I'd already purchased, because I loved that deal. Mm-hmm. Now they were probably making whatever percentage off me. I didn't care. I'll pay for it. Dan Kennedy even talks about that when he's on vacation. Mm-hmm. He's buying I forgot when he's buying like a shirt in like a store or something, and he ends up buying 2 or 3 of them because of the sales technique that the individual was using. So you start to see, you become more focused as to what good salespeople are doing and what bad salespeople are doing. Yeah, you do. You see a lot. After a while, your eyes start to get trained for things, and you really start to see new. I think this is important. Things. Shoot it up here. If you Joe really likes this letter, ladies. I really. This is, it's got it broken out. I mean, if you haven't contacted Ted yet for some of this, this is worth its weight in gold. Well, thank you. Thank you. That was such a strong endorsement. This letter is one of my favorite ones, Joe, because the format is just so incredible. What you're looking at here, folks, this is a tear sheet. I don't know if you can see this. It's like a newsletter on like a news article reprint, 3 columns, and it looks just like a regular news article. Mm-hmm. It tells you I'm from Detroit, and I like the little headline on the top. I don't know if you can see that. It says, it says, if a Michigan-based entrepreneur with a bad disposition, no steady income, and fear of rejection can make his business explode, you can too. Imagine turning a failing business into a $15,000, $35,000 a month profit powerhouse. Imagine what it can do for you, and it's such a really cool thing. But the double stamp over it just kind of screams like punk rock. It's very almost kind of obnoxious in a way. And I showed this at the Dan Kennedy IBA meeting not too long ago. It's one of my favorite ones. I just like it's just so loud. And it just really says what it needs to say, And there's a lot of science in these things. Because when people read it, they're conditioned to buy, either subconsciously or, like this one. It's such a cool thing too, because you stack up all the offers on this side. And if they want the silver package and the gold package, silver one has some of the items in them, but the gold one includes everything. And you give your discounts here, Mm-hmm. And it's just eye-grabbing, And what you really want to do is kind of pump up the adrenaline and the buyer and a lot of these things, and just let them take over. This one, I couldn't resist. I did bring this one because I sold so many of them this summer. This is one of my favorite ones. We talked about the search engine marketing training for 2007.
I sold. This is how I made my living this summer, ladies and gentlemen.